Yes, I'm having a lesson on a book known as Strange Happenings, a book that is being studied at JSS levels. So have you read this story, Strange Happenings? I already did the summary, and there has been demand on covering characters and characterization. So I'm going to have a short live session where I'm discussing the characters. If you have a question, kindly ask at the comment parts, the comments and all that, and I'll respond to you definitely. So I hope this morning you're actually well as we start the conversation on strange happenings. So, who is the main character in this story? I'll begin by telling you that the main character is Mavasi, who is also a narrator. So when we look at Mavasi, he is very critical. Why do I say he is critical? Someone who is critical, of course, does not just take things for granted. You have a third eye, yeah? So when you look at the book, you realize that Mavasi reports at Pweza Academy. And what does he do? At the first point, he realizes that there is no signboard. And he's surprised. He wonders how the wind can blow this signboard, and then there is no debris at the gate. So when you look at page 4, that is how critical Mavasi is. Again, he almost shakes his head and thinks that Chia, the sister, is just shooting out on her seat to help the teacher with the many books, so that the teacher realizes or notices her. When you Yeah, I've been experiencing some challenges on network, that's why it stopped. Yeah, I've been experiencing some challenges on network, that's why it stopped. But I just said that Mavasi is critical. And why do we say he's critical? The first thing is that when he arrives at Pweza Academy, he notices that there is no signboard, and he questions, why is it that they are talking about the wind having blown it and there is no debris below? So when you look at page 4, that's what you'll see. On page 15, you'll again meet something about Mavasi. He almost shakes his head and thinks that Chow is actually shooting out of her seat to help the teacher, just to create attention. So are you that kind of student when you see others maybe shooting out from their chairs, helping the teacher, you wonder whether they are actually drawing their attention for something, for some benefits? There is this other part where why the teacher would not let them register, yeah, one face and make friends in class, instead together again in the bus. When they are going to the beach, they are sitting with their class, the desk mates. Now look at page 20, that's where you'll see this. The last part where Mavasi is critical, he critiques the looks of Miss Kanene and Chow as being sheepish and full of guilt. You remember the time he had gone to the dispensary, he was treated, and then he was being released to go back to class. Are you that kind of person who reads the faces of your teachers or even your mother? You can actually tell that she's guilt of something, maybe she's genuine. So if you're that kind, then you're critical, just like Mavasi. The second character trait is vulnerable. When you talk about vulnerable, it's somebody who exposes themselves to risks, dangers, sometimes even to situations that are quite bad. Now, when you look at strange happenings, you realize that Mavasi is vulnerable. Why? He easily trusts Hami while at the beach. And instead of sitting where the teacher and the rest of the students left him, an incident that almost makes him lose his life, when you check at page 30 to 34, you will see this. You know, sometimes when your parents tell you to sit at a certain place, you should do so. You realize that he almost lost his expensive watch that the doctor had given him after spending damn time in the hospital. Now, we also see that even though when Hamisi approaches him, he realizes that there is a dull, pungent smell, he still follows this man to a strange place by the beach. Are you that kind of person who would easily trust a stranger? And regardless of maybe sensing some funny smell from them, you would still be compliant and follow them? So check that on page 33. Another incident actually is the accident that we see in the ocean. You see, he exposed himself to this kind of accident and he almost died because the high tides were sweeping him. Remember, the leg was not well. He later accepts to go and observe the signboard thieves. Yeah? Who does that? So he is easily believing what Hamizi is telling him, that he's hairy. Yet, is he sure about the truth if this man has duped him several times? So you need to be cautious. If you're not, then we'll call you vulnerable. We also see that he's vulnerable because as a footballer, you need to play with within the limits of certain rules. But what does Maasi do when he's in school? The previous school before he comes to Preza Academy? In a friendly match, he plans to slide his leg and make the opponents lose balance, then trip him and take the ball and restore the position. Then, only for the boy to slide and come crash landing on his knee. So such an evil act ends up putting him in hospital for several months and in a surgery. So I'm going to show you briefly the notes as I proceed to the next. I hope you see them. Have you seen that? So let's proceed to the other evidence of Maasi being vulnerable. Another character trait of Maasi. Maasi is sensitive, and why do we say he's sensitive? He's sensitive because after reading, just noticing the paper in which Chow has, Chow is very attached to, he thinks there is something there. And of course, when he picks it and hides and reads, he realizes that that paper is a letter from the mother and it is talking about him. Yeah, he is also sensitive because he kind of senses the emotions of Chow and all that. He is also selfish and emotional at the same time. Selfish and emotional. Maasi is interested in reading the letter that the mother wrote for Chow. Now, though Miss Kanene told him to, stay in class, he still insists to leave the class and go to the toilet. He sits under the tree and reads the letter. Yeah? And after reading, he almost hates Chow totally. Every time he sees anything about Chow, like her being active, he's very, annoyed, irritated. We also see that he envies the colobus monkeys because they're able to jump over the perimeter fence, unlike him. Remember, he had hurt his leg. So when you look at page 2, that's what you'll see. He's also very annoyed that the sister is treating him like a child. At that age, at junior secondary school, I believe you can understand if somebody is trying to treat you like a child, but he is quite emotional at that. Now, the fact that he also rejects that they should not be known by the classmates as being siblings, even when Chow requests, and later on, we have seen Chow assisting him a lot, but he still doesn't want to agree that they should just reveal their identity. And Chow is a bit of hurt because of this. Now that makes him selfish. He is very contemptuous. When I say contemptuous, the spelling is Contemptuous. I hope you got it. So he says he does not like the sister. Can you say that of your sister? I know there is a sibling rivalry, and of course that is what you see in the text at page 16. He says that is not the kind of person you will enjoy to be around. Who does that? You know, people love having sisters and brothers. So when we see that out of Maasi, then we say he's contemptuous. He says, looking into the future, he could see it clearly that the sister is that one of those people, annoying, bossy people. Page 17. When they have also seen that, you know, there is a time in the class when Miss Kanene has told them to go to the bus, and she relieves the brother at the point when the teacher is asking a question. And the sister is almost high-fiving. What does he do? He retrieves, because he thinks he's not supposed to love the sister very much. That is on page 19. Would you do that? Okay. That other part on page 21 to 22, you realize that Maasi dislikes Chia. You know, the movements that she does, the packing of books, yeah? You know, detesting her just by the virtue that she's doing all that, and he thinks she's just, you know, trying to be, you know, to show off or something like that. Now, another part is when Chia explains that the Oman Arabs are the ones who built that platform at the beach, he looks at the statement and, you know, he thinks that she's unnatural, that she's actually seeking attention. And he says that he really disliked her. So when you check at page 27, that's what you'll see. The last example of being contemptuous is when he says that Chia was not someone to be admired on page 28. So I'll show you the notes and we proceed to the next character trait, which is being keen. Okay, I hope you saw. If you didn't see, you'll actually just tell me. Then I don't share all the notes because, of course, I've published a book on this, but I can share bits of it. So the next character trait is being keen. Now we say Maasi is keen because he notices that unlike Nairobi, Meru, Diani has few tuk-tuks and parked boda-bodas, few curio shops, and some few people conducting business at page 22. We also notice that he is very quick to notice the troop of gray black monkeys marching confidently along the perimeter fence as shown on page 5. He realizes that Miss Kanene was restless and panicky, and she had a baby face, expensive-looking skirt, dangling earrings at page 2. He also notices that Pweza Academy lacks the signboard just as he arrives there. On page 33 at the beach, he detects the dull, pungent smell from Hamisi. He also quickly notices the mother's handwriting from the paper Chia has written and demands to see it. He also marks the storied building that housed rows of classrooms to the side of the administration block, outside some classrooms and students in white shirts. We see that while being escorted to the dormitory, he notices very fast the subscription or embroideries of which are on Hamisi's clothes at the left pocket on page 6. When you go to page 27, you notice that the narrator does not like how Chia sounds so confident, and when she denies the presence of Hamisi. The very last part of this character trait is shown while at the beach. He quickly sees how Chia takes the lead, and ladies taking some fistfuls of sand, rubbing on the bodies, children flying their kites high, hawkers touting their water aggressively, and women targeting students for sales of henna and more items. Check that on page 28 to 29. He is a bit wishful and dismissive. I believe you can go check this and see whether you can actually tell the examples or illustrations on this. Let's go to Chia, the second character. Chia is the sister to Maasi. What are her character traits? She's outspoken. Why do we say she's outspoken? We actually see that when Mr. Gogo enters the classroom with his arms full of books, She's the only one who shoots out of the seat to help. She also impresses teachers and is chosen a class secretary out of being outgoing. She quickly asks the brother Maasi whether they should tell the class that they are siblings, because she knows the class will obviously understand or know this anyway, shown on page 14. Page 17 tells us that the narrator says, my sister was unstoppable, and she had the teacher's blessings for her outspokenness, page 17. Page 20, after Miss Kanene has given all orders, she reminds everyone to consider their bottle of water. Again, I'll show you the screen so that you actually see this. Now we have another character trait of being visionary. She believes that she will become a future leader and secure a scholarship, shown on page 84. She is pragmatic or realistic because she tells the brother that if they do not reveal to the class that they are siblings, they'll know anyway. And when they go to the beach, she's also trying to tell the brother to, have the water therapy, which of course we know it's important. The other character trait is being loving and caring. And of course, she comes to the brother who is sitting alone and urges him to get to the water and have the therapy on page 29. That shows how caring she is to the brother Maasi. She later calls for Maasi and rescues him from Hami. You remember, she was the only brother's keeper here. The rest of the students were not told what they did. So check page 41 for that and you'll see details. Page 50 shows us that she checks on him in a dispensary after the accident. The narrator says that when he explained his intention to report Hami, she was attentive and extra sensitive. She wanted to the process to go on and backed the brother. The other character trait for Chia is that she's very jovial and admirable. Why do we say so? When you look at page 61, you will see that he also says he admired her, even though he didn't like most of her behaviors. Look at page 19 again, you'll see that she is so excited when they are told to go to the pool. She even takes the lead and is the first to step in the waters, and the brother is looking at her, page 28. When you move to page 61, after an exchange with the brother, she does not really react negatively, and the brother thought that she would be annoyed, but that does not happen. Page 45 tells us that even when she falls in the heavy tides at the ocean, she has grazed her arm, but she remains silent, wears a tight expression, and keeps helping the brother. She's very excited to see the brother wake up after a day and tells him that the water therapy worked, page 50. See the screen for the details. So I hope you've seen the notes again. If you need something more to this, you can actually share. Now we have the other aspect of Chia's forgiving. I believe you can check the book and see the details. The next character is Hami. You remember Hami, who is also Yero. He is very mysterious. Mysterious is someone you cannot actually understand, There are superstitious aspects about such a character. So the narrator says that he laughed thunderously and rapturously, a wildest way he had ever heard. Page 33. Page 25, Maasi meets him in school and is escorting him to the dorm, but later everybody is denying that he's not in school. And how he gets in school and out, nobody knows. He reappears and at the beach again, talks to Maasi and almost robs him of the watch. And then he just disappears. He also comes from nowhere and blindfolds Maasi while in school. takes him to his house and explains the past. And later at night, he shows up, picks Chao and Mavasi to show them who picks the signboard. He's very persuasive, by the way. He talks in a friendly way to Mavasi now so much that he believes in him. When you check on page 39 to 40, you will see this. The next character that we are going to discuss, and it's the final one, is Mrs. Keenness. Mrs. Keenness is very caring. When they are going to the beach, she tells the students to be brothers keepers when they arrive at the beach, page 27. She's very secretive. Why? She doesn't want the information about the accident which Chao and Mavasi were involved to be known. Yeah? So she wants it to be a secret. She also does not mention about Mavasi or Chao as being siblings. She accepts that she will not reveal. She's very keen. She notices that Mavasi is disgusted about the order to rush from for the swimming costume, possibly because of the condition he has. Check that on page 20. Then we have when there is this part when she actually notices that the two are siblings. We realize that makes her keen. Yeah, she's fearful because she's afraid that the Chao Mavasi near-death accident should not be known. It will cause trouble in school, and she keeps that because she fears the trouble it will cause for her. Check that on page 58. When you look at page 69, what do you see? You see that when she sees Mavasi approaching Mr. Gogo, she's very scared, and she tells him to choose the right thing. She thought Mavasi is going to set her up. Now I want you to look at Mr. Gogo, and tell me about him as a character. The next live stream or video will be on themes in strange happenings. Stay put and subscribe to my channel if you've not, because I realize we have so many people who are following up on content, whether educational reaction videos and any other, but you've not subscribed. So kindly subscribe to the channel to help me grow and attain my goal. Bye bye for now.